My name is Deb Morgan of Not a Rehearsal, and I'm known as the Real Relationships Expert. I'm joined today by Shumba Wileman, who is a holistic coach, author, public speaker, and mental health first aid trainer with Bliss Foundation, or Bliss Fountain, rather. Shumba, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now, you are one of the contributing authors to Motivate Magazine's Inspirational Women Edition, March 2021. Motivate Magazine is a business magazine which you can find at www.motivatemagazine.com. That's MO, the number 2, VATE, magazine.com. Shumba, first of all, welcome. Thank you for joining me. And I'd like to talk to you about your article, because I read your article and I thought there's so much more about this woman that I want to find out about. And you start your article by saying that you graduated and you stayed in the same job for a number of years, but then something happened that changed things for you. Can you talk to me about what that was?
Yes, Deb. Firstly, can I say thank you for having me on this delightful program. I feel so honored.
You're very welcome.
So the reason why I picked this article, among many other things in my book, is because I realized that sometimes in life, as human beings, we do wake up and we've got our list of to-do things, and we've got our schedule, we've got our plan. We plan things and we have daily intentions or monthly intentions. We want to achieve A, B, C.
Mm-hmm.
So you find that sometimes our intentions and what the universe intend for us to do, they don't, they are not in harmony.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finished my degree in health and safety in the workplace, I continued in the job that I had been doing to fend for myself and my family. And I didn't even bother to look for another job. I just, decided to carry on because that is what I had on hand.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I knew. So I wanted to stay in the comfort zone.
Uh-huh.
Little did I know that sometimes the universe has got other plans for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I was so much into this job, and one day the universe decided to throw a curveball, decided to change things. And unbeknown to me, I didn't know that maybe it was time for me to have another look at myself, another look at my life, and see where or how I could grow and go on another life journey. So when this curveball was thrown into my life, I fought tooth and nail to try and change the possible outcome, which was
Mm-hmm.
looking at me in the eye. I turned the tables upside down. I fought tooth and nail because my job then was the only thing I knew, Debbie. And it was the only thing that was sustaining my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I really, really fought to keep that job.
Absolutely. And you say in your article that that job was providing for you and your 3 children as a single mum. And we spoke briefly earlier, and you told me that you had actually studied as a single mum. You'd taken this job whilst you were studying. So it had served you and been a big part of your life for many, many years. And it served your family well. So this curveball came and you fought tooth and nail, as you have said. And in the article, you say you had been conditioned in your upbringing to fight and to protect yourself. Can you tell me a little bit about that, about your upbringing? What was it that caused you to condition yourself in that way?
Thank you for that question, Debbie. It's a long story. I'll try, in the interest of time, I'll try and cut it to bits. So My father died when I was 3.5 years, and
Okay.
I grew up, of course, having a very difficult life. To try and make ends meet. Even when I went to school, it was very difficult, but I managed. So when I came over here to UK, which is about 21 years ago, I went to university again to try and study. As you know, we all want to, upskill ourselves all the time. So because I was a single mom, I had also a difficult upbringing. So I had conditioned myself, and I had learned to fight for anything, really, because nothing is ever given to you on a silver plate. I was taught that life, you have to fight for anything. You have to struggle. You have to defend your corner. Nobody's coming to do anything for you. You have got to do it for yourself. So when this curveball was thrown on my table, I thought, aha, it's time for me to pick up my arms again and fight for what I believe should be mine.
Okay, fantastic. So there's a lot of really deep held beliefs there about life being difficult and a struggle anyway, aren't there? And I was interested to read that you said you had this curveball, you fought for a number of months, and you talk about months of sleepless nights and difficult times. And then all of a sudden it was over, it got sorted out. And then you decided to change things anyway. Talk to me about that.
Yes, as I said earlier on, that sometimes we don't know what is on the corner, what life has got in store for us. So whenever we smell a change in the temperature, changing tempo, changing things, we want to say, I don't know this way. I know this way. So I want to keep this way because this is what I know. So when this happened, I didn't see anything else. I lost focus. I really could not think of anything outside my job. So I said to myself, I have to keep this job at all costs. So I fought, I went to trade union, I wrote letters trying to defend this job. And in the end, because I had put so much energy in keeping what I didn't know was not for me at that point in time, I then got the job. I was offered that opportunity to say, okay, you can stay in the job. And then life being life, Debbie, it just decided, okay, we're going to show you this is what we do, and this is how we do in our own worlds. So a few weeks after being told you can keep your job, you can continue working, I got a job from Norway. I didn't have to sweat for it. I didn't fight for it. I applied for it and I got it. And then I changed. And that job, which was now my new job, had everything to do with what I had studied at university, what I had graduated in. And it fitted me because it provided a platform for me to develop, to go further, to upskill. You remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs? So I had the opportunity to grow. Whereas if I had stayed in that job, my opportunities were limited. The growth rate was hampered. But with this new job, it was just doors opening after doors opening. So I didn't know then. I had spent months having sleepless nights, fighting the system, fighting the predicament, which I knew was going to come, to try and save what I thought was mine for life. And life had its own agenda.
Absolutely. And it's very apt that the title of your article is Go with the Flow, because what you are talking about is that you fought so hard for something that really wasn't quite right for you. It wasn't quite within the realms of what you studied, but as you said, it was within your comfort zone. So you stuck with what you knew, even though you knew it wasn't right. And then this other job just seemed to magically appear out of nowhere. and were so right for you, giving you so many more opportunities for growth, for expansion, to utilize your expertise and your knowledge. And you were so much happier with that job. But tell me, at what point was it that you came to the realization that you are now talking about, that actually life doesn't have to be a challenge? I don't have to fight tooth and nail to protect myself. Was there a significant point, a significant time that you came to that conclusion? Or is that something that happened over time and you've since looked back and thought, that's when it happened?
I think sometimes we are at a certain point in life where we forget where we have been, where we forget what we learned yesterday, where we forget what life has previously shown us to be the trends. So when I was told I was going to lose my job, I should leave this job, I forgot what I had gone through. I forgot what life had taught me. I grew up in Africa, but I found myself here in UK. That's another long story in my book. And so I had forgotten that sometimes we do have the universe, life, whatever you might want to call it, God, the unforeseen powers that sometimes have a bigger impact in our lives. And I'd forgotten about that. I become too comfortable in what I had on the table because I was in a new country and I didn't know any otherwise. And I forgot those lessons that life had taught me. So when this job came by, the new job, and I put very little sweat, Debbie. I really didn't, I put no effort in getting this job. And when I started this job, something hit me in the eye and said, you see, sometimes you've got to go with the flow. Sometimes you have to listen why this is happening. Why now? Because I had spent sleepless nights crying, God, why? Why are you forsaking me? How am I going to feed my children? How am I going to pay my school fees in this foreign country? Then, I had forgotten that we do have life. Life and the universe has got its own way of channeling our own life, of impacting our own life. Yes, sometimes we have to use our own initiations, our own resources, our own thinking, and make our own decisions. But sometimes we get a bit of help. And when we don't realize that, this is why I said sometimes we need to go with the flow. Where that tide is taking you, maybe there's something there waiting for you to see and grow and change. Because as far as I know, my belief is that life is a journey. We are all on a journey. We are on a route. We are on a bus route, whether in the plane, in the train, or what, it's a journey. So we get to a point, but we need to learn lessons at that point and move on. And that is the lesson that I had forgotten. That is why I spent tears and sleepless nights fighting. I forgot that life has got something there.
Wonderful. And I completely agree with you there that we are on a journey, and life, when you go with the flow, actually it opens up magnificent opportunities for you, doesn't it? But I'm interested to know, because you've talked, and I think many women, many mums will resonate with what you're saying, but I have to feed my children. I need to look after my children. Did your children notice the difference in you when you went from the job you were fighting for to the job that appeared out of nowhere? Did they notice a difference in their mum?
No, and I'll tell you why. Firstly, my two children were back in Africa. I brought one child with
Okay.
me, my daughter, who is still here. And you see, what happens, which I think maybe happens to most mothers or most women, is that when we are in a storm, we try and shield the effect and the impact of the storm from our children.
Absolutely.
Because we are in a storm to protect our children. We are fighting to preserve, protect, and keep safe our family. So we take all the hammering, we take all the blows. We don't tell them, this is what I'm going through. Because we feel that it would dishearten them, it would hurt them, it would also make them feel despair and say, what? They would panic. So as women, we put on this shield, we put on this armor, we take all the hate, all the pain. We don't tell our family because that's our responsibility as mothers, as women. We are protective. We safeguard our children, our families. We take so much. When we go through stress, anxiety, and what have you, we sometimes don't even share with our children. Why? Because we are mothers. We protect our children.
Exactly. And again, totally resonate with what you were saying. There's so much that we shield our children from in life generally, isn't there? It's absolutely wonderful. Now, I know that your experiences have led you to what you are doing now. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? As I said at the top of the interview, that you're a holistic coach, you're an author, you're a public speaker, you're a mental health first aid trainer. And I also know that you have a podcast which you are planning and preparing is due to be released. Can you tell me a little bit about what it is you do at Bliss Fountain and who you work with?
Yeah, so Bliss Fountain, I have a little room which I call the sanctuary room. And I work with women, and I love my clients. I actually call my clients my friends because when they come to the sanctuary, we laugh, we take ourselves to another realm. We go on a different journey, and we are in total bliss when we are in that zone. And I love it. And the fact that this therapy room, I only take women because I have decided I'm a woman. My experiences are more related to women. So that's why I've decided to take in women. And because of speaking with my friends and speaking with my clients, I have realized, you know what? We can actually form a platform where women come together and tell their stories. You see, this magazine, which Sharon started, is a very good project. And the idea of women coming together and sharing their stories, to me, resonates so well. And last year, but one just before COVID, I decided I want to do a podcast for women to come together. And I did another interview with Rob Cohen, which I can always give the listeners a link to hear my interview, where I was saying, women, we need to tell our stories because our stories will impact other women, will help other women, will inspire other women, will motivate, which is the name of this magazine, by the way, will
Exactly.
motivate other women, you know. So that is the podcast which is well, anytime, soon. We just got the cover done last year, and because I've been juggling a few things, and I've been also finishing my book, which is called Finding Bliss Within. So that also resonates with what I'm trying to say, that sometimes we look for answers out there. We seek for solutions out there. And somewhere within ourselves, we do have the answers. So those stories, I think, in this podcast for women, which is called She Who Dares to Dream, will help other people because it's a platform where we share non-judgmentally, where we share openly and freely.
Wonderful. Shumba, thank you so much for joining me today. You are so right in what you say, that there is a lot of power to be had in sharing our stories. And I know that's one of the reasons why Sharon created Motivate Magazine, why she has created so many of the fantastic businesses she has, for people, men and women, to share their stories, to inspire, to motivate others. Shumba, I'm really grateful for your time today. Thank you so much. And if you want to find out more about Motivate Magazine, you can go to www.motivatemagazine.com, MO, the number 2, VATE, magazine.com. Shumba, thank you.
I think, can I just say one more thing, Debbie? This magazine has got brilliant inspirational stories.
Mm-hmm.
Please if anybody's listening, get this book. The stories in there are just heartwarming. You will cry, you will need a box of tissues when you are reading them.
Absolutely.
Beautiful magazine. And I will say again, thank you to Sharon for this opportunity.
You are very welcome, Shumba, and I know Sharon will say the same as well. She's just grateful and happy to have been able to offer the platform and the opportunity to so many women, so many people globally, to be able to share their stories. Thank you, Shumba. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Debbie. I really welcome the opportunity. And if anybody wants to get in touch with me, I've got a website, shumbawileman.com. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and also on Twitter.
Lovely. Thank you, Shumba.
You're most welcome. Have a good day yourself.
And you.
God bless you.